Welcome back to another Tennessee National Guard News Flash. I'm Staff Sergeant Melissa Wood. Recently, we brought you a report on newly crowned champion and fellow guardsman, Private First Class Thomas Anderson. Anderson stunned the bodybuilding community as he took center stage at this year's NPC Nationals, not only winning the title of National Middleweight Champion, but more importantly, the right to call himself an IFBB professional. Specialist Sterling Daly recently had the opportunity to sit down with PFC Anderson to discuss his road to victory and the secret behind his success.
I'm PFC Thomas Anderson, and I'm a 94 Echo Radio Communications Security Repair in the Tennessee Army National Guard. What I do in the National Guard, my MOS is 94 Echo, which is Radio Communications Security Repair, which basically means any kind of ground or aviation radio equipment, we troubleshoot it, we find out what the problem is, and then we repair it accordingly. What interested me in the National Guard initially was the financial backing that they offer, which would allow me to go to school and also take care of some other things like loan repayments and other benefits that they offer me as well. Another thing was it actually gave me a sense of discipline. It gave me a sense of structure, so that kind of fell over into my civilian life. So my life is a lot more structured thanks to the National Guard. What I do personally, I'm a personal trainer at Anytime Fitness here in Clarksville. I'm the lead trainer, so that pretty much says a lot about my credibility. I come highly referred, a lot of good experience as far as personal training. Been in the field for about 8 years now. Done pretty well. A lot of my clientele can, attest to that. As far as professionally, I am an IFBB professional bodybuilder. And for those who actually know what that is, that's pretty much the top of the best of the best as far as like competitive bodybuilding can go. This is probably one of the top amateur shows that you can ever enter in order to get your professional status. So that says a lot about your work ethic in the gym. It says a lot about how hard you train, how well you present yourself on stage, even the competition diet as well. So it just goes to show that you really did your homework to bring your best presentation possible. As far as how I train personally, when I first started working out and everything, I actually had a lot of problems with, coming up with different exercises and routines and things to, maximize my workouts whenever I was in the gym. So with that being said, the National Guard provided that structure. So it carried over to where I could actually sit down and evaluate what I wanted to do in the gym, making lists and different routines, making sure everything coincided with what I was looking to do as far as my fitness related goals. Putting all that together, it provided me with, the foundation to really help me take off with my bodybuilding and, pretty much just my overall fitness. Normally, as far as my competition diet, a lot of it is generally low carb. I really watch how many carbohydrates that I take in, and I make sure that I get a lot of water in because that helps to flush out any excess water, any excess sodium, so that the muscle can be presented and shown as best as it can without any kind of water that's kind of flushing out the definition and the conditioning that you're looking to bring out. I focus on a lot of vegetables. Protein sources are usually from food, not so much the protein powders or anything like that. So I try to focus on a lot of fish, more specifically tilapia, and I also do a lot of lean beef, and I do a lot of chicken as well. So that's pretty much the basis of it. Every now and then I'll switch up my vegetables. Every now and then I'll do green beans, broccoli. Asparagus is also another good route to go. Well, as far as advice is concerned, nutritionally, I would focus on taking in clean carbohydrates. That's what's going to give him his energy to, push through any kind of Army-related PT. That'll help him to not feel so tired or exhausted while he's doing his PT, and he'll overall have a better performance. Now, as far as training, if he wants to just stick mainly to, performing for the Army, I would just stick to, running pretty much every day, and then just maximizing his push-up and his sit-up scores by actually coming in the gym and doing exercises that are related to that when it comes to the physical training test. Examples of that would be like bench press, just added resistance so that when it comes to actually doing push-ups with the body weight, it won't seem so bad. It won't be as bad because you're actually building your body to have more resistance. So when it comes to PT, the push-ups will be a lot easier. Another thing he could do is probably actually focus more on sit-ups or ab-related exercises, but also put resistance with those as well, because what that does is it helps to build the strength. It helps build the core strength so that when it comes time to do focusing more on the endurance, like with the PT test, he'll be able to do more repetitions and he won't be exhausted nearly as what he would have been if he didn't. Well, what got me into bodybuilding initially is my parents were both retired military, so physical fitness has always been a big part of my life. I actually started working out around the year 2004, and I was always naturally lean, but I never had a lot of weight. I never weighed very much, especially during high school and when I first started my college years. Um, I was actually approached by another guy in the gym about doing bodybuilding, but by this point, I was already 3 years into just working out by itself. So, like I said, he asked me if I considered it. Told him I hadn't, and then that's when I decided to start doing my own research. Figuring out things, how competitions work, the scoring system, what the judges look for when it comes to good, well-built physiques. And then I did my first competition that same year, July 2007, and I won my novice overall class. So that's pretty much when it took off for me. And I've been competing ever since. As far as going from novice to reaching a professional level, it really took a lot of hard work. Um, there'd be days where I would be overly sore in muscles that I never even thought I had. From my understanding, that was just one of those things that I had to deal with, and then I had to continue to build on top of that. The idea was to always try to get better in any way possible. Now, in 2009, I had done the NPC Nationals as well, but sadly, I didn't place very well. And so, with that being said, it took me 4 years to build my body up to the point to where I can do the same show here last year in 2013 and actually win my class and get my IFBB professional status. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what kind of time that it takes, to take yourself from not winning or placing at all to actually winning your class and, gaining that top honor. Yes, it was a big surprise, especially considering the history of that competition that I had done. For someone to come from placing dead last, that says a lot about, what you did as far as preparing yourself for it within those 4 years. So if you would ever see the pictures that, that were placed from that competition up until this recent one that I won, you can definitely see my work ethic. Well, to be honest, as far as how I felt, I remember standing there and we were doing mandatory poses, and I noticed that I got switched twice. I was on the end originally, but they moved me directly into the middle. So at that point in my head, I was like, okay, this is a good spot to be in. They called myself and another competitor of mine off the stage, and we had talked backstage, and he told me congratulations, and I asked him why. And he said, we just placed first and second, and I think you beat me. So, all that whole day, I was just pretty much on cloud nine, knowing that all the way up until the next night when they actually gave us the awards. So it was a really good feeling. It was a really good feeling. Being featured in Flex magazine for me, it really meant exposure. That's going to allow me to have doors open as far as like endorsements, sponsorships from like different supplement companies. The main goal is to be able to get paid to do what I do. That's my ultimate goal, is to be able to come in and get a good training session in and know that I'm getting financial backing to do that. That would be my ultimate dream. Why I love the Guard? I love the Guard because it actually gives me an opportunity to do what I do. I know on the active duty side of the military, your time isn't really your time. You're pretty much at their beck and call all day long. Now, with the National Guard, what I like about it is because it's, pretty much on the weekends, it allows me to continue to do my civilian job, which I love to do, and I certainly don't want to give that up, but it also actually allows me to compete as well. It allows me to have the time that I need to train and focus the way I need to without having the pressure of being active duty where I can't even guarantee times where I'll actually be able to work out. The National Guard actually gives me the time that I need in order to better myself so that in turn it helps to make the National Guard look a lot better, especially here in Tennessee. I'm PFC Thomas Anderson, soldier in the Tennessee Army National Guard, and I'm fit to fight.